I grew up in a small town where everyone had a story about the old dirt road that led out to the river. People called it Demon Road long before I was born. It was the place teenagers went when they wanted to drink, swim, or pretend they were brave. No one had cell phones back then. You were truly alone the moment the trees closed in. The road was narrow and deeply wooded, with thick branches that formed a tunnel overhead. At night, you could only see what your headlights touched and nothing more. The woods swallowed sound in a strange way. Even our voices felt muted, as if something was listening and did not want us to disturb it. I made the drive more times than I should have. There was a spot near the river where everyone parked and built fires. People played music, told stories, and dared each other to swim in the dark. Over the years, a few kids had drowned there. Everyone whispered that the river had its own temper. Some said the land around it was even worse. I tried not to believe it, but the stories stuck to you. The first time I felt something wrong was on a humid summer night. A group of us had gone to the river and were sitting around the fire when one of my friends went quiet and pointed across the water. At first, none of us knew what we were looking at. It was so still and so dark that it blended into the trees. Then it moved. There was something standing on the opposite bank, tall and thin with long arms that hung too low. Its body looked black, like it absorbed the moonlight instead of reflecting it. It ran in strange looping circles between the trees, not fast but steady, as if following some silent pattern. We watched without speaking. Then it stopped moving and faced the river. We could not see a face, only the shape. We left early that night without planning to. A few weeks later, I was back on Demon Road with two different friends. The sun had just set and the woods were heavy with mist. We were halfway to the river when I saw a figure in the trees. He was standing perfectly still, far back among the branches. He was dressed in old clothes, almost like work pants and a jacket, but there was something wrong with the way he held himself. Too rigid, too quiet. His head never turned toward us, but I could feel him watching. I did not say anything until we reached the river because I did not want to scare the others. When I finally mentioned it, both of them froze. One of them whispered that people sometimes heard chanting out there, strange voices carried in the trees even when no one was around. Some believed the land had an ancient evil buried beneath it, something older than the river, something that did not like to be disturbed. I stopped going to the river after that. I still drive past the turnoff sometimes. The trees look the same. The dirt road is still narrow and the woods still seem to hold their breath. I always wonder what we truly saw on that opposite bank. I wonder if anyone else sees the same things, and I wonder how many of those drownings were really accidents. The curiosity never faded. After years, I had to know. I drove back, not at night, but just as the sun set, bringing a cheap camera. I parked further away this time. The river was unnaturally low, exposing mud and roots. I went to the spot where we built the fires. The air was cold, even though it was summer. I felt that familiar silence, that sense of being listened to. I set up the camera, pointed across the bank. Then I heard it, the chanting. A low, rhythmic hum, not quite human, coming from the depths of the woods. It got louder, pulling itself out of the mud near the water's edge. Its form shifted like oily smoke. It was a new kind of dread. I dropped the camera and ran. I never went back. But the camera? I never recovered the camera. Sometimes I think about what footage it might have captured before the darkness took it. The hand below the surface, it wasn't reaching for me. It was pointing at me. The fear was gone, replaced by a cold, sharp anger. I was tired of the whispers, the fear, the unanswered questions. I stepped to the edge of the bank, flashlight fixed on the thing across the water. "What are you?" Anna yelled, my voice echoing unnaturally across the still river. "Why are you here?" The shadow did not move, but the water began to churn violently around it, even though there was no wind. Then the figure started to dissolve, thinning out until it was nothing but a ripple of blackness on the trees. I stood there until dawn, alone, feeling like I had won, but knowing I had only disturbed something ancient. When I finally left, I looked back at the river. The water was now perfectly clear, and the hand was gone. But pressed into the wet mud where I had been standing, I saw a single dark, long, three-fingered print.